Neither party, neither candidate, neither platform, neither agenda is concerned at all about the plight or the blight of the American African people. Do you understand, overstand, and understand what the Prince of Pan-Africanism is saying to you right now? Do you understand, overstand, and understand what the Prince of Pan-Africanism is saying to you? Do you understand, overstand, and understand what the Prince of Pan-Africanism is saying to you? They didn't touch on nothing that was critically relevant to the American African people. Now, the Democratic Party plantation slaves and the Republican Party plantation slaves, they're going to try to exaggerate the things that were said in an attempt to keep you in the illusion of inclusion. They're going to take out things that Donald Trump said, the Republican Party plantation slaves. And the Democratic Party plantation slaves, they're going to take out little sound bites from Kamala Harris, and they're going to blow those up. They're going to magnify certain talking points. They're going to magnify them by 100 times in size to try to make the American African family believe that Kamala Harris was somehow talking to you. They're going to try to make the American African family believe that somehow former President Trump was talking to you. Neither one of them addressed anything that was relevant to African people. Now, don't get me wrong. I believe they have another debate or two to go. And they might get desperate in the final days and throw American Africans a verbal political bone. You might get thrown a couple of chicken bones in the final debate. You might get thrown some watermelon rind in the final debate. You might get thrown some pork chop scraps in the final debate. When it's close to election day, that final debate, I think they might throw you some chicken bones and a couple drops of Kool-Aid to make sure you turn up and turn out on election day. But let us be clear. Israel was more important than you. Let us be clear. The immigrants were more important than you. Ukraine is more important than you. Everything is more important than the American African. So why are we crashing out? Why are we crashing out for the red car or the blue car? Why are we crashing out for the red wing or the blue wing when they both belong to the same corrupt-ass Caucasian chicken wing? I said, why are we crashing out for the red wing or the blue wing when they both belong to the same corrupt-ass Caucasian chicken wing, brothers and sisters? We can't fight each other over white people's agendas. The most honorable Marcus Garvey turning in his grave. Turning in his grave. Ida B. Wells turning in her grave. Even W.E.B. Du Bois turning in his grave. We crashing out over two parties that have never had the best interests of American African people at their heart. Come on now. Brothers and sisters, we need to get focused on how we're going to save ourselves, because no matter who wins the election, Black America is losing regardless. I don't care how you cut the cake. Donald Trump is no blessing. Kamala Harris is no blessing. They couldn't even bring up the Tyreek Hill situation that's all over the media. I mean, come on, Donald and Kamala. Come on, Donald and Kamala. Y'all can't even bring up the Tyreek Hill situation that's all over the news. We're not even going to talk about Tyreek Hill being brutalized by immigrant police. We're not even going to talk about Tyreek Hill being brutalized by immigrant police. And y'all keep talking about black and brown. Well, Tyreek Hill was brutalized by brown police. But the Democratic Party plantation slaves are quiet. And D.L. Hughley isn't off the hook. He agreed to my debate. I'm still waiting on a date and time for D.L. Hughley to meet me at the most honorable Jean-Jacques Dessalines and the most honorable Nat Turner Gymnasium of the Frederick Douglass and Marcus Garvey Academy. You ain't off the hook, DL. You ain't off the hook, Steve Harvey. You ain't off the hook, my brother Ricky Smiley. I love my big brothers. We not beefing, but we have to have an intellectual samurai session. I said we need an intellectual samurai session. Because after last night's debate, I want to know how y'all still selling either candidate to black folks. After last night's debate, how you selling either candidate to black folks. And I'm going to be honest with y'all.